Hey everyone, welcome back to another really elegant tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you guys how to make these Queen Victorian rings. I did the bands in, oops, this one's, I had to make this one tighter because this one ended up being too big because I used 11/0 on the side, and here I used a 13/0 Charlotte, or you can use a 15/0, same thing. So this is today's project. I kind of like the 15/0s better. It kind of thins up the band a little bit because it kind of puffs right here, so it's got room for moving around. This one here I will take apart in here and put 15/0s just because this one is really big and it's useless to have. I like it a little wee bit tight, especially when you first make them, because thread stretches. Even though we go repeatedly through our right angle weave, it still stretches it over time. So I am going to teach you guys today how to do so much right angle weave that you're going to probably hate me by the end of the video. This ring is mostly done right angle weave. It's so gorgeous. I can't even begin. I done it in the purples and in like a fall kind of color, and you can see the difference right here in the size of the bands, how this one is too big and this one is perfect. So there is a lot of right angle weave in it. I mean, it really keeps its shape too nice. I love this band, how I designed this band. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I know today I have to make it out of all these colors, and the reason I'm doing this is teaching, especially our new people, right angle weave. It's really complicated, and I remember back in a day when I used to do right angle weave for the first time, it was so hard. I had such mess that I would get to a point where I just gave up. It didn't matter how many times I watched the video, I could not get the right angle weave right. So if I do all the layers, because this ring is in layers, as you can see, it's quite thick. I'm going to do all the layers in different colors, and I'm going to do the base in 2 different colors so you can see exactly which bead I'm going through and how to continue to make a square 7 units by 7 units. So that's what our base of our ring is built off of, is the units. Okay, so I'm doing a whole bunch of retarded colors. It's going to be very colorful. But I really need you to see exactly what I'm doing, and it's just going to be a lot easier. I did do a tutorial with this ring here. This is why I have a second ring. However, when I watched the tutorial, it was really hard for you guys to see what bead I was going into next. So I decided to delete that video and redo it in all these bright colors. Okay, so for this ring here, I used Toho Seed Beads, of course, and I used 2 colors. So I used a dark purple and a light purple, and you probably can't really see that in the video, but I did. And I also used a 15/0 Charlotte, or a 13/0 Charlotte, but you can use a 15/0, it's the same thing. And I used 2 colors of Swarovski crystals, and I used a light amethyst in here and a rose gold in here. And you're also going to need 18 2mm Firepolish. These are not hard to find. You can find 2mm beads anywhere, but I'm assuming that maybe an 8/0 will suffice in place of these 2mm. You can try an 8/0 in there. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. It's just, or maybe even a 6/0. Just all you have to do is try it. Don't work, pull it out. All right, and you will need 2 colors of Swarovskis. I'm using 2 funky colors of yellow and pink, citron and rose. I'm using Nymo Thread. I know I'm going to regret it, but I've had to make these 2 rings with the Nymo Thread because you're going to make multiple passes through your right angle weave, and you really want some thin thread for that. You don't want to use any thick fire lines or braided threads at this time. I'm using a size 12 beading needle, and I'm going to warn you right now that your beading needle is going to take a beating. Not beating, beat. It's going to get bent to shit. So unfortunately, this is the beading needle I used yesterday, and I straightened it like several times and it's still really bad shape. And you'll need a pair of scissors. So that's all. You're going to need a 15 or a 13-0 Charlotte, 2 colors of Toho's. I'm using 2, 4, 6 colors. But you're going to understand why I'm doing it this way. You're going to clearly see that. Anyways, you guys want to make this gorgeous, gorgeous Queen Victorian ring. I'm telling you, it just looks so antique, like really Victorian. And it's very elegant to wear this out, maybe somewhere fancy. I'm going to wear mine to work tomorrow. I'm going to wear this purple one with a purple shirt. And I think it's going to look really sharp because where I work, it's well lit up and it looks really, really sparkly under the light. All right, so gather all your materials and meet me back here. Okay, so to get started on your ring, you're going to pick up 4 of your first color. So you're gonna, this base row that we're doing, you're gonna do this all one color. You're not gonna follow what I'm doing and do it a bunch of different colors. Unless you like the look of this, then you're welcome to do that. Leave yourself a good 4 to 6 inches, long enough that you can put a needle on and thread your end in. Now you're going to go right through the entire 4 beads again, and you're going to make a circle, and then you're going to go through the next bead because you're coming out by your tail here, and you're just going to go up into the next 3 beads. So go 3 beads past your tail, and I'll show you why. If anybody's like me, you like to work across from your tail instead of where your tail is actually coming out. I hate working where my tail is. Okay, so we've kind of reinforced this entire unit. So each right angle weave is a unit. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to refer to these as a unit. All right, so we have 1 unit. Now this bead that we're coming out of, we're going to share with our next unit. Let me see if I can come up a wee bit more. I don't want to get too close because I always get out of camera view. So now for this purpose, we're going to pick up 3 more beads on a needle, and we're just going to make a circle. And because this is a base row that we're working out of, we're going to reinforce each unit. So we're going to go right through all these beads again one more time. So let me hold it here. So I'm just going to go through all these 4 beads, including the one we came out of, like so. And then you're going to go through 2 more beads so that you are coming out of the top ready to add another unit. So now you have 1, 2 units. Okay, 2 units of right angle weave. Pick up 3 more beads. So we're going to pick up 3 beads. On our needle, we're just going to make a circle and go through these beads again to make a next unit. And then we're going to reinforce this unit as well. So I'm going to go through each bead. Just reinforcing the base of this unit, or this ring base. And then you're going to go up and make sure you're exiting out of your top bead here. Okay? So now we have 3 units. We have 1, 2, 3. They're kind of like boxes inside the center here. You'd kind of call those boxes. Now, I'm going to take my broken crappy needle here, and I'm going to pin this down because it'll be a lot easier than me going out of camera view. Alright, so now we have, we're working out of here. We're going to pick up 3 more, so 1, 2, 3. We're going to go this way now because our thread's coming out here. we're going to exit this way and make our another unit. So we're always going to be sharing beads from now on with the previous unit. So there's our next unit. And if you count your beads here on the sides, you can clearly see you have 4 units by just counting 1, 2, 3, 4. So of course you're going to reinforce this unit. So it's going to be really hard for me because I'm working in every direction with my needle holding down my work here. Alright, so there's 1. So reinforce it. So we'll pretend I reinforced it because I'm not going to fidget with it. You want this base row to be tight. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to make 7 units across. And then I'm going to come back and show you how to make, don't cut your thread off, because now we're going to make this 7 by 7 square, which means 7 across here and 7 rows down. Okay, so I'll finish this doing my 7. I'll have it pinned down ready to go, and I'm going to show you what to do next. So I'll be right back. Okay, so after you've got your 7 units done, I've pinned this down now so it'll be easier for you guys to see and what bead I'm going to be going in, and I probably should bring it up a wee bit. Okay, so you can see clearly what I'm doing. Now, you should have been exiting out of, oopsies, out of your last bead here, which would have been, you would have been in this top bead here. I pinned down the wrong one, so hang on, I pinned down the wrong side. Let me fix this. I want to pin it down, so just grab a piece of my mat, go through it. Oops, it's going through my finger instead. Wrong end of the needle. I'm using a bent needle from yesterday, so it's gonna not cooperate. 1 sec. There we go. So let's go through our mat. I just want a tiny piece of it. There we go. And make sure I'm through the right beads here this time. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and done. Alright, now we've got the right side down. Okay, so we're exiting out of this bead here, and we're going to exit into the side bead now because we're going to make another row of 7 units. Okay, so we're exiting out of the side bead, which should look like that. Now for the very first, when you make a new row, the very first move you make, or unit you make, you have to use 3 beads. So I'm picking up 3 beads, and it's in the other color, and I'm just going to make a circle, adding those 3 beads as a unit. Now where I'm exiting out of this red bead here, I can't make another unit, so you're going to go right up into the side bead of that new unit you just put on, so it sits like this. Okay, now for the rest of the row, you're only going to pick up 2 beads because you're going to share this bead in this unit and this bead on your base row. So you're going to be sharing these 2 beads. So pick up 2 beads on your needle, and you're going to go through your bead this way to make a circle. As you can see, your thread is coming out from the top, so you can only make a circle this way, making sure you catch the bead in the main row. So I'm going to go through this bead, adding 2 beads to make another unit. Now I need to get into position so I can add more beads over here, but my thread's facing this way and it's on the main row. So you need to go through this bead, and it's going to kind of reinforce it. You need to go through this bead, and now you need to go through this bead. But as you can see, your needle is now facing your beadwork. Let me straighten this up. It's facing down. You can't make a loop this way because you still need to share 2 beads. So far you're only sharing 1 bead, so you need to go into the base row like that and pick up that bead. So now you have your 2 beads to share. So pick up 2 beads, and now you're going to go and make your circle this way, going down that way, holding my thread. So now you have 1, 2, 3 units done. But again, now I'm facing my beadwork again, so I need to go through the base bead, and I just need to go up 1, and don't go straight across. If you go straight across into here, you're going to see that thread in there. You don't want to do that. You want to keep within a circles. So let me just get my fingers in here for a second so I can put this up. So now you need to exit there. So now when you look up here, you see these 3 beads up here, tells you you've got 3 units done. So now we're going to share 2 beads again, pick up 2 more, and we're going to go back into this bead going this way, so we can create a circle. Like that. Now you're going to go up, because you're facing the wrong way. You're going to go up this bead so we can get into position to add another unit. Go through the top bead, down the side bead, and as you can see where your thread's facing, your needle, let me just pull this tight, it's facing downward, so that means you need to go into this bead here on this side and pull. Pick up 2 more beads. So now we're going to make a circle, so we know we are using the side bead always, the side bead and the base bead. Those are only 2 beads we'll be sharing with. And pull. Now you've got to go up through 2 beads to get into position to add your next unit. So I'm going to go up this side here. As you can see, my thread's facing outward, which means I can make a circle now. Pick up 2 beads, and now we're going to enter the bead on the base row this way, because we're sharing these 2 beads, and we want these 2 beads to be in with our group of 4, because each unit has 4 beads, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's sharing 2. So now you're going to go up this bead, because this is the one now we're going to have to go around 4 times, or go through 4 beads to get in position to add our unit. So there's 2 beads. This makes it 3, which is the side bead. And now we need to go, because we're facing down towards our beadwork, that's when you know you need to go into this bead here and catch this bead for our next unit. Like that. Pick up 2 more beads, and now you're just going to finish out your unit by going through the side bead this base bead, because now we need to go, now we need to make our next row. So as you can see, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 beads showing here. That means you have 7 units done. Okay, so we need to be in this bead here to start our new row, because we have the 7 now and we need to do 7 rows. So you're gonna, oops, it's really hard to do it glued down to the mat, but I find it's the easiest way to show you guys without me going out of camera. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is pull this out, flip this over, because I can't work backwards. So I'm going to pin this down again, make it easier that I don't go out of camera view, and snag all 7 beads. Okay, so now we're coming out of this bead here, so we just need to get into the side here and pull that, and we're starting our new unit, and we're starting a new row. So starting a new row, you know you need to pick up 3 beads first, always the first unit you make, and then you're going to just make a circle like that. Okay, keep your thread pulled nice and tight. So there's your first unit. Now we're going to actually, let me take this unit out and let me do this in a different color like I intended to do, so you guys can see the new beads and what beads to go through. So I'm just pulling my beads off, and I pulled my needle off, so it's going to make it a little easier for me. Okay, now let's do this again. I'm picking up 3 beads in the other color, and I'm going to make my circle. So I want to make a unit, like so. So there's our 3rd row. So there's 1, 2, 3rd row. Now you can see we're exiting out of this bottom bead, but we need to be in a side bead to make our next unit. So all you're going to do is put your needle into that side bead, going up like this. And now you're going to pick up 2 beads, because you're going to share the purple and the blue on the base. Pick up 2. Now you're going to go into the blue bead from this direction. Pulling and placing your next unit. Now to attach it to the side bead, because it's not attached to this side bead yet, just to bring your needle up into the bead that you're sharing and pull that through, and there's your 2nd unit. Now you need to go through your 3 beads here. So there's 1. You need to go 2, because you're facing downward. And when you're facing down, exactly down like that, you know you need to go into that next bead on your main row. Okay, I'm not pulling this too tight, but I should be pulling it good and tight. Now pick up 2 more beads. I'm going to show you one more time, and then I'm going to leave you guys to finish this. I'm coming out of this main bead here, and I'm just going to go down to the side bead, because we're sharing all the beads. And I'm going to attach that one there. Okay. Now to get into position, just go through. You can clearly see which bead you need to go through, because you're doing your circle. So follow your thread path. Pull tight. And now to get in position, you're going to go up the side bead. Like that. And now you're ready to add your next unit. So now you can see you've got 3 units done. And you know you have 1, 2, 3, 4 more to go because there's still 4 beads that are sticking up here that you know you need to go through to join them. So you're going to join these 2 next. Alright, so if you're unsure of how to do this, just go back and start the video and continue doing your 7 rows. And I'll come back when I have 7 rows completed and show you what to do next. Okay, so I've completed my 7 units all the way around. So I have 7 and 7. If you count all your beads sticking up on the sides here, that should be facing out like this, you will see that you have 7 units all the way around, counting all your beads. And this is why I did it in different colors so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm exiting out of this last bead here, that last unit that I put on, and you're going to go through the outside bead here, put your needle through there, and then you're going to come down and go through this red bead here. So you're getting in position to start your very first layer. Alright, so I'm going to put this down here and I'm going to use pink now to do my layers. So I'm just going to pin it down, make it easier so I don't go off camera. Alright, so now I'm in this row here. Okay, I'm between the beads, so there's a red, a white, or a red, a blue, a red, a blue, a red, a blue. And we're going to add beads on top now. So you're going to pick up one of your beads. So this main row here, I did all in one color, and my second color I picked up to put in here. But like I said, I'm doing this in different colors. Now you're just going to drop down and go into the bead in the middle that's sharing your 2 units there. So I'm sticking in the middle, and I'm going to place my bead on top to begin my layer. There's the pink bead. You're going to pick up another pink bead, and you're going to go down into the next bead right below where you're exiting. So you're going to stay in a straight line, adding beads on top. Now when you're finished adding your beads on top here, your piece is going to be curled into a little ball. But that's going to straighten out on the next row. So pick up another bead, go through the next bead, placing a bead on top, pick up another bead, go through the next bead, placing a bead in there like this, pick up another one, go into the next bead, just staying in the row in the middle beads, and pick up one more and exit through the last bead of that row. Okay, and there's your one row of 6 pink beads. As you can see, they're all pink on top. Now to get in position to do the next row, so you should have 6 beads, 6 pink beads on top, and 6 rows of pink beads. So go across into your outer bead here, and then go down and drop down into the next bead that's between your 2 outer beads. Go into that bead there, and now you're ready to start putting more beads on. So you're going to pick up one bead, and you're going to go into the next bead. And I'm going to have to kind of hold this and into the next bead like that. And pull this one in place. Again, pick up another bead and go into the next bead. So I'm just going in the beads that are facing this way. You can't go into the side beads. Oops. So it should look like that. Okay, pick up another bead and go into the next bead, so it's kind of like there. If you fold your work over a little bit, you'll find it easier to get in there and placing that there. So that's all you're going to do for this next first layer. So this is your first layer on top of your, this is what we call a netting, a right angle weave, kind of like a net. So we made a 7x7 square. So finish putting your beads, doing 6 rows, because you can only do 6 rows, and you're basically going in between the rows that are in between here, where your outer beads are here. So you're going to go into the beads between there and do 6 rows of 6 beads. And when you get that done, I'll come back and show you what to do next.